Hey everyone, Micah here with EbikeSchool.com, and I am super excited to be unboxing the Velotric Discover 2 today. This is a brand new e-bike, was just released, so let's check out some of the awesome features this thing has. A couple of them are already right here on the box. You can see it's got that Apple Find My integration, which is great for if you forget where you parked your bike or it nefariously goes missing, you can find it on your phone and track where it is. The other is, I think you can see it also on the box here, it's UL certified. So that means that it's gone through all the UL testing for water, fireproof, everything else to make sure that it's safe and well made, which not a lot of e-bikes are actually UL certified yet, especially by Underwriter Laboratories themselves as opposed to some third-party certification. So that's also great to see. Pulling these out is always a bit tricky. Ooh, it's that pretty sort of turquoise teal. I don't know what you call that color.
And by the way, I'm giving away this e-bike, the Discover 2, thanks to the generosity of Velotric. So keep watching to the end of the video to see how you could be the winner.
I like to get these wheels on pretty early so that the bike actually stands up and it's easier to work on. And it's already great to see there's a through axle here, which is just a much stronger, more robust way to hold that front wheel on instead of a little teeny tiny quick release skewer. If you take a look at those quick release skewers, they kind of look like, a chopstick. I think they're even more narrow than that. So a big honking through axle like this is definitely the way to go. See, what would you rather have holding your wheel on? A big bolt like this or a tiny little chopstick? Slide this puppy in. Now once that front wheel's in, we can at least put it on its kickstand and it stands up nicely by itself. And once you get the handlebar clamp lined up here, you want to go in kind of a star pattern like lug nuts on a car wheel to tighten these down. And if you're wondering about the angle here, I generally find that trying to angle the levers here, the brake levers just slightly below horizontal, usually gets you right about perfect. But obviously that one's kind of a comfort thing, so you can angle your bars however you like. And of course those brake levers can be adjusted independently as well, if you prefer. The other nice thing is that the Velotric Discover 2 here comes with an adjustable stem. So even once you get the bars on, you can adjust the angle up and down that way, if you want your bars kind of higher or lower. Okay, bars on. Let's do a little more foam removal around here. Get a look at that pretty paint job here. Oh, that is nice looking. Man, look at these zip ties. Could hold a truck up with these. Some warning labels. Now it's time for that front fender. Fenders are on. Now we got 1,000 display wires to hook up here. Actually, just 2. And I think the last thing is the pedals. And the right side. This little trick, by the way, you can hold a 15mm wrench on the pedal axle and then just spin the pedals backwards and that'll tighten them on. And the tires are a bit low from being in that box, so let's just pump those up. Okay, tires are all pumped up. Let's turn this sucker on. All right, we light up, put it in low power. There we go. Ooh, got some power to this thing. All right, let's do a little quick safety check. Front brake, stem is good. Rear brake, chain alignment looks good. All right, I think we're ready to go. I should probably clean up all of my trash here. My charger and toolkit's still in here, so I'm gonna do my best to remember that. See if I can drag this box home. All right, let's go have some fun.
Every once in a while, an e-bike comes along that just gives you that good old feeling like you're actually getting more than you bargained for, in a good way. I've enjoyed testing Velotric bikes before, so I knew the Discover 2 would be pretty good, but the more I've been riding it, the more I realized just how much went into this thing. In fact, they make some pretty tall claims, like saying that it's rated to tow up to 880 pounds or 400 kilos. So I figured if they rate it for pulling 880 pounds, they probably tested it with more than that, right? So why shouldn't I do the same thing? Okay, so this is my sister's truck I borrowed, and it weighs close to 5,000 pounds. Let's see if the bike can pull this. I enlisted my brother-in-law to help with filming and act as safety officer, though it turns out you can only do one of those things effectively at the same time. I started out on throttle only, using the highest power mode of course, and I found that I could actually get the truck rolling, but not quite fast enough to be able to stay upright and pedal and balance at the same time. A bike becomes a lot harder to balance without the benefit of gyroscopic stability. So we tried it again. And again, even just on throttle, I could only pull the truck slowly, but not quite fast enough to pedal. My brother-in-law wanted to show me how it was done, but he ran into the same proverbial wall I did. You can pull a truck, but it's just hard to do it fast. I wanted to give it one more try, and I found that if I zigzagged a bit, I could get enough power down to the road and increase my speed to the point where I could just about stay up, though I also kept running off the road too. In the end, the bike definitely pulled the truck down the road on throttle only, it's just hard to do it while pedaling. That's not bad though, considering the truck outweighs it about 100 to 1. Okay, so it's got the pulling power, that's for sure. Towing a trailer with a kid should be no problem after a 5,000 pound truck. But next, I wanted to test another one of the bike's big claims.
Now, one of the coolest things about the Velotric Discover 2 is that the battery is actually submersible. It's rated waterproof up to IPX7, which means you can actually dunk it in water, which is what I intend to do here today. I've got 1 tub of water, 1 Velotric battery, and some blue dye. Not strictly necessary, but I think it's going to add to the YouTube value here. Yeah, now that looks like water. Nothing like a little fake blue. Now, theoretically, we should be able to dunk this battery and everything is going to be just fine. Let's see what happens. Here goes nothing. All right, that is one quite wet battery. Okay, so there's water all over the electrical contacts. There is water in the charge port. It's a very wet battery. Now, theoretically, any battery can be submerged in water. The question is whether it'll work when you take it back out. So let's dry this a little bit and stick it back in the bike and see what happens. All right, moment of truth, turning it on.
Now, full disclosure, since I would never fake a video, when turning the bike on, the screen lit up and then turned right back off, probably because the connector was still draining water and causing an active short across the contacts.
And it's instantly shutting off again.
So I did what anyone else would do and tried to turn it on again.
All right, turns on, let's give it some throttle. There we go. We got a working e-bike, everybody. Whew. All right, that is one waterproof battery.
That's pretty impressive if you ask me. I never thought I'd see the day when you can just yeet an e-bike battery into a bathtub and everything is going to be fine. And of course that means you don't have to worry about the bike getting rained on or washing it, since all the connections are IPX6 rated too, so you could ride the bike through a car wash if you wanted to.
Now, I've been having a lot of fun testing the bike out so far. I can't believe this has worked. and a few of the things I've already noticed that just really set it apart and make this bike feel so good to ride. One is the torque sensor. Having a built-in torque sensor is just night and day compared to a lot of cheaper cadence sensor-based e-bikes. It makes the pedaling and the ride experience just feel so good and natural. Like it's not even an e-bike, it's just you stronger. When you push that pedal hard, the motor comes on. When you push it lightly, you just get a little bit of power. It's really intuitive. There's also a crazy 15 levels of pedal assist. There's the normal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels, but then you've also got 3 other sort of power settings of eco, trail, or boost that have another impact on how powerful the motor is and whether it comes on slowly or more quickly, that sort of thing. So with 15 levels, you can really dial in exactly where you want it. For just riding around, I really like that middle power level. It's the trail one. And then I go like 2 or 3 for just pedaling around, or if I want to throttle and have some fun, I put it in 5. And if I really want to have some power, I put it in boost mode where there's full power. Now, speaking of that power, yeah, it's a 750 watt motor. It's a 750 watt bike, but really there's about 1100 peak watts here. A lot of e-bikes, they say 750 watts, but really that's the peak rating, and it's more like a 500 watt continuous motor. This is true 750 watt continuous power and closer to 1100 watts peak. It does get up to 28 miles per hour. Most e-bikes these days, maybe not most, but a lot of e-bikes are class 3. They get up to 28 miles an hour, so that's not that special in and of itself, but it does it really quickly because of all that power. It's just got great acceleration. Next is that UL listing for the battery. Now, it's becoming more and more common that we see e-bikes with UL compliance for the batteries, but here it's not only the battery, but the entire drive system is UL listed. And that's another important thing to note, is that it's not just UL compliant, meaning it's usually tested by some other third-party company. It's actually UL listed. You can look it up on UL's website, and they themselves have done the testing and certification on both the battery and the entire electronic drive system of this bike. For anyone worried about safety, battery fires is a big deal right now. It's always in the news. Knowing that this is an actual UL certified bike with UL compliance for the battery and the drive system is a big deal. And the last thing I've really noticed while riding around the last few days has been the suspension. Up front, we've got a hydraulic fork with 80 millimeters of travel. A lot of commuter bikes these days, either they have a rigid fork there, or they've got some cheap spring fork, and maybe it's got, 40, 50 millimeters of travel. This is 80 millimeters. There's some serious travel here. I can't really compress it all the way just like this, but when you're out riding, if you hit a big bump, if you hit a pothole, you've got a lot of travel there, and it's a true hydraulic fork. It's not some cheap spring that's, jangling around in there. So just another big differentiator. It's something that when you look at the bike from the side, it's hard to say, oh, it's got that nice fork on it, but when you ride it, that's when you really feel the difference. Now, one other really cool feature about the Velotric Discover 2 is that it has Apple Find My built right into the bike. If you have an iPhone, you can add it just like an AirTag, and then you can track the bike anywhere. If it gets stolen or you just forget where you parked it, you can always find it in your phone and locate it. And now it's my favorite part of every video I do. It is time to give away an e-bike. This time I'm giving away this awesome Velotric Discover 2. You guys have already seen what a great e-bike it is, and now it's going to become one of yours. Now, how does this work? It's a program I've started called eBikes for Good, where I partner with generous e-bike companies like Velotric to give away an e-bike to somebody in need, someone who doesn't have a means of transportation and could really use one to turn their life around. In this case, you can see what a great e-bike the Velotric Discover 2 is for someone who needs to get around, to commute, to ride along the beach and, lift your mental state of health, to visit your family, to go to doctor's appointments, anything that you need an e-bike to do. If it would help improve your life, let me know. Head on over to EbikeSchool.com/ebikesforgood. There's an entry form there. Tell me your story. Tell me why an e-bike would improve the quality of your life, and hopefully you will be the randomly selected deserving entrant to win this Velotric Discover 2. That winner will be announced at the end of my next video. Big thanks to Velotric for helping me make this giveaway possible. If you can afford an e-bike, this would be an awesome one to choose. And now it's time to announce the winner of the e-bike from my last video. And the randomly selected deserving entrant is...
Troy C.
So congratulations, I'm really glad we were able to make that happen. It is only through the generosities of companies like Velotric that helped me do this eBikes for Good giveaway. Now it is time to announce the winner of the book giveaway for my last video. And the randomly selected commenter is...
Emoto PDX.
So congratulations, just let me know which one of my books you'd like. You can choose from DIY Lithium Batteries, DIY Solar Power, the Ultimate Do-It-Yourself E-Bike Guide, or my latest book, The Electric Bike Manifesto. And anybody else who wants a chance to win one of my books for free, all you gotta do is put a comment down below this video. You can say anything you'd like, and hopefully you'll be the randomly selected commenter at the end of my next video. If you don't want to wait that long to hopefully win a free copy of one of my books, you can always find them on Amazon. All right, thanks for watching everybody. I'll see you here next time.